So humans have actually been drinking milk for over 6,000 years. 6,000. That is a long, long time. Welcome to Becoming Natural. I am your host, Victoria Ray, a certified transformational nutrition coach and expert in the areas of mental wellness and nutrition. This podcast is to provide you with the tools and knowledge that you need so you can live a healthy and natural life in this crazy world full of crazy stuff that we would never have encountered even just a few decades ago. So, hello everyone, and welcome, and I hope you are having an absolutely amazing day. If you're not, that's okay, but let's go ahead and we're going to try and make your day better together because I have some really, really interesting and awesome news for you today. We are going to be discussing dairy and all the stuff surrounding dairy. So, I'd say in like the past 10 years-ish, we've had this huge push kind of away from dairy. I've started to see, a lot more soy milk, almond milk, rice milk, hemp milk, chicken milk. I'm just kidding. There's no chicken milk. anything but cow milk, basically. Oh God, what would chicken milk even be? Like, I feel like somebody might sell something like that. Like they soak chicken in water and you could sell the water as chicken milk. That would be fucking disgusting. I'm sorry I did that to you and I put that image in your head. But now it's there. Now you have to live with it. We're suffering together now because I'm also just picturing somebody drinking raw chicken water. Oh God. I'm so sorry. Anyways. If you were having a good day, now you're not, so okay. Why are we seeing so many people go away from dairy, especially cow milk? It's a big push, is it? Because that many people are lactose intolerant and we're now just getting around to addressing it? Or is it this big ethical issue where we just, hate seeing these giant dairy farms? So we're trying to get away from that because I do know that, these large dairy farms, they have so many cows and, some of them get sick or they'll get like eye infections. And I've personally seen this where, these cows they'll get, something in their eye and like they don't have time to treat it. Or they don't have really the resources to treat it, or it's not worth spending the money to get, pink eye or whatever fixed on your cow when you have thousands of cattle out there and they're just going to get an eye infection again anyways. And so I definitely understand from that aspect why people are not okay with that. But let's first look into the lactose intolerant bit of this. So humans have actually been drinking milk for over 6,000 years. 6,000. That is a long, long time. And this is actually when civilizations began to develop in ancient Mesopotamia, or what would be modern day Iraq. And these people were out there, they were domesticating animals, chickens and stuff. And cows and drinking their milk. Hopefully not chicken milk. Oh, yeah, maybe, oh God. I hope they figured out really quickly that raw chicken was not a good thing. They were drinking cow milk, sheep milk, goat milk, all the milks. And we actually have an enzyme called lactase, which is what lets us digest milk when we're babies. But as we get older, we have a little bit less of this. And some early humans had a genetic mutation that allowed them to continue to drink milk into adulthood. And this is called lactose persistence. Lactase persistence, where basically your lactase enzymes are persistent and they stick around. So these humans who were able to drink milk and digest milk, they were, able to get all the benefits from it, like the vitamins and minerals and all the protein from the milk. And we all know how important it is not to starve to death, especially when you're like living at the beginning of civilization and you don't have a Walmart or something down the street. You can just go and get some food. So they were able to pass this genetic mutation on to their offspring, thus creating more humans who can digest milk and reap its benefits. So why are we seeing so much lactose intolerance now? But is this a new thing? Well, some people simply do not possess this genetic mutation. Some people's ancestors never got it, so they don't have it. Whether it's be like that they're from a different bloodline or, they don't possess this mutation. Another very common issue that has nothing to do with whether you have it or not is an increase. The lactose intolerance is from the past few decades of GI problems and diseases. And one of the main causes of this is something called leaky gut. Now, when we think about our intestines, we think of them as like the inside of our body, yes, they are inside our body, but they're actually the outside of our body, pretty much. It's kind of like our skin in a way. The job of your GI tract, other than to digest food and absorption, is to act as a barrier between you being like your organs and your bloodstream and all of that stuff, and keep you away from outside things like viruses and bacteria and food, of course. You don't want to swallow food and have it going all around inside you. You want it to stay in that GI tract. And we have seen a huge increase in this, the leaky gut syndrome, which is tiny little perforations and tears in your gut lining. And what happens with this is it starts to allow food and all kinds of other things into your bloodstream, like viruses, like bacteria. And this is actually very common. It's something that I personally feel like should be looked into a little bit more, because it can be the root cause of a lot of problems. And when your leaky gut is healed, a lot of things like lactose intolerance goes away, or gluten intolerance goes away. It's pretty crazy. But this leaky gut syndrome is caused by a poor diet that's low in nutrients, high in sugar, high in refined carbs, preservatives. And, I'm not trying to scare you, but this is a real issue. And it's way more common than you would have guessed. So I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, you have leaky gut, but you very well may. And if that's something that you feel like you need to look into, you can go and, be checked out for that. And it's easily healable. Leaky gut syndrome is reversible. You can totally heal from that. And when we do heal this, we actually see a decrease in the lactose intolerance. Not for everyone, of course, because some people just don't have that enzyme to digest the lactose. And I'm so sorry about that. But you can buy lactase supplements if you are very lactose intolerant that will allow you to digest lactose. I have some coffee here. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. I really don't want it to get cold. I don't hate iced coffee. I'm totally gonna drink this. I'm not an iced coffee hater. I'm not like a huge fan, but I don't like when coffee is like brewed hot and then it's cold. Like if I'm gonna get iced coffee, I want it to be a cold brew. because it just, something about it tastes different. It's like when it's hot and then you cool it off and put ice in it, it just like, I think it gets bitter. I don't know. I'm not a fan. So, and I'm also not a fan of just like coffee that's been sitting out and now it's cold. Like I will go and reheat my coffee so I can finish drinking my coffee. Cause I don't know. Some people like it. Some people like room temperature coffee or whatever. And if you like it, like that's totally cool, but not for me, man. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So here's another crazy thing. Lactose isn't completely to blame for this, I guess, lactose intolerance milk allergy thing that we've got going on. And this blew my mind when I found this out. In milk, there are proteins. Obviously, that's not what blew my mind. It's this next part. We have an A1 and an A2 casein protein. So most milk you buy from the store contains a combination of these two. Now, all cows used to produce milk with this A2 protein until our ancestors found out that cows producing this A1 protein were a little bit hardier and actually produced more milk. So we began breeding these cattle, and now we have these cows that are producing this A1 casein protein milk. The problem with this is that the A2 protein very closely resembles sheep milk, goat milk, or even human milk, which is easy to digest, whereas the A1 is not for a lot of people. In fact, most people who think they have a lactose intolerance really just have an intolerance to this A1 protein. Isn't that crazy? Like, it's not even the milk sugar at all. It's the protein that's in the milk. But the cool thing about this is, if you don't know if you're lactose intolerant to that milk sugar or this protein, you can get sheep milk, goat milk. You can try those and see if they give you those same symptoms that you're having when you drink regular cow milk. You can also buy A2 milk. This is actually becoming really, really popular in a lot of stores and a lot of places, because people are now realizing, like, oh, we're not actually having a problem with the lactose. It's actually the type of protein that these cows are producing. So these farmers will get cows that produce this A2 milk. I actually got some milk the other day from a farmer's market here that this guy had, and it's from a cow that produces the A2 protein. I personally have an issue with the A1 protein. I always thought I had some kind of lactose issue, and I would try the lactase pills, and honestly, they didn't work. So I avoided dairy for a really long time because I was like, this is gonna make me feel like shit. Like, I'm gonna be dying. And one of the worst things is gelato. Oh my god, and I love gelato, but I guess it's really high and I don't know. But oh my god, I will literally just have like abdominal pain for like hours. It's so stupid. I hate it. So I avoided it for a really long time. And then I found this out about the proteins, and I can literally drink this A2 milk and it does not bother me at all. It's insane. So I have an issue with the protein, which is crazy. But yeah, if you want to try that out, go look for an A2 milk. And interestingly enough, most like cheeses and dairy products from Europe, Italy, France, Switzerland, these are all made with A2 milk. And I love cheese, and I want you all to be happy and be able to eat cheese too. So if you get a European cheese, it is more than likely made with A2 milk. So another push away from dairy is this conception that it's absolutely horrible for you. It's high in fat, it's not for humans, we shouldn't be drinking it, things like that. Well, yes, it is high in fat, but this is the good fat. Milk fat is one of the best fats for you. And you guys know exactly how I feel about fats. Good fats, in fact. Which is why I'm such a huge advocate for using butter and ghee to cook with. So if you're going to buy milk, I am going to tell you, do not buy the skim milk. Do not buy that blue-topped 2% milk. That's gross. You don't even like that. Like you're punishing yourself when you're drinking skim milk. It's like milk-flavored water. That is disgusting. Nobody likes that. And if you're like, Victoria, I like that, you're a fucking liar. No, you don't. And you're lying to yourself. You're lying to all of us. Just go drink the regular milk. It's not going to make you fat. I promise. And that's something that other people have, or the, food industry has really been pushing, is this low-fat version of things, but it's not the dairy itself that's making you fat. What is it paired with? What are you pairing it with? Are you eating this highly processed sugar cereal with your low-fat milk? Are you eating a super sugary yogurt that's 1% milk fat, or a low-fat yogurt? And even worse, if it's got artificial sweeteners in it, that's even worse for you. Or, Go-Gurts. I don't even know if they make those anymore. Like, can you really even classify that as yogurt? Because it was just like sugar-flavored mush in a tube. I remember that my mom got them one time, and I put them in the freezer, because I think on the box it was like, yeah, put these in the freezer. They're like popsicles. I honestly hated them. I thought Go-Gurt was disgusting. And the fact that that's marketed towards kids is very unfortunate, because you're just literally feeding your children preservatives and sugar. And it's not the dairy that's going to make them fat. It's all of that other shit. So don't be afraid of the full-fat milk. Don't be afraid of the full-fat yogurt. Like, get that one. And if you like sweet yogurt and you like flavors and stuff, you can get plain yogurt and add whatever the fuck you want to it. Like granola and honey and berries and stuff like that. So, or if you really, really don't feel like doing that yourself, just look for the kinds that are not made with like refined sugars. Look for some that doesn't have like 30 grams of sugar per serving. Don't get the sugar-free ones, because those are going to have artificial sweeteners, and that's going to damage your microbiome. And when we do that, then we lead to leaky gut syndrome, and now you might have this lactose intolerance. And now we're just in this vicious cycle of badness. So we want to stay away from artificial sweeteners for sure. Yeah, so dairy's not to blame here. It's really not. It's been, portrayed as this bad guy for so long, and so has fat, and that's not the problem, you guys. If you look at, I just want you to look at the size and health of people here in America over the past, let's say 20 years. What have we done? We have gone towards this low-fat, highly processed diet, and what's happening to people? Are we smaller? Are we less fat because now we're on these low-fat, high-grain diets? No, quite the opposite. Fat is not your enemy, you guys. Don't be afraid of it. Okay, so another thing, fermented dairy. Fermented dairy is great for you. It can actually help reduce your weight too, because it has all kinds of good bacteria that's gonna help your little intestines in there, and it's going to reduce bloating. It's going to help you fight obesity, because it's going to give these good bacteria an opportunity to flourish, and it's going to beat off those bad guys and get rid of those bad bacteria in there, because our bacteria is very important for us as humans. We are on average, about 3 to 5 pounds of your weight is bacteria. They're very important. They're very important inside of us, on us. You have them on your skin. You have a layer of bacteria. It's very important that it stays there because they're actually helping protect you from the bad bacteria, from the bad viruses. So we've kind of, especially now, we've shifted towards this mindset of we have to kill all bacteria and all viruses. Nah, man, part of your DNA is literally made from viruses. Like, they're super, super important. We need these good guys around. And when we use things like hand sanitizers and mouthwash, we are killing the good guys too. And when we kill off the good guys, that just gives the bad guys an opportunity to come in and do whatever they want and make us more sick, make us fat, and we don't want either of those things. So, but anyway, back to fermented dairy, kefir and yogurts. Those are my favorite kinds. And if you're lactose intolerant, actually, like, to the lactose, these contain very, very, very small amounts of lactose, if any at all. So you can digest those. And like I said, they're very good for you and your little gut bacterias. So what kind of dairy do we want to buy? Do you want to just buy whatever's at the store? So ideally, you're going to want to get an organic dairy product, which means the cow was not given food treated with pesticides and, she wasn't given any hormones or any artificial anything like that. And yes, this does affect the milk. So just like when you eat things, whatever you eat, your body's making cells from it. Same thing from the cow. So if this cow is eating an inflammatory diet with pesticides and all kinds of other stuff, she is putting that into the milk, and then you're basically drinking or eating whatever she ate. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not particularly big on consuming pesticides because, again, they destroy our microbiome. The job of pesticides is to kill tiny pests, tiny little things, and bacteria they fall into that category. So we don't want to go down that road of the vicious cycle of destroying our microbiome. So let's touch on pasteurization too real quick. So raw milk, okay, unpasteurized milk. Raw milk has superior nutrition and significant health benefits over pasteurized milk. Raw milk contains greater bioavailable nutrients than pasteurized milk, as well as a wide array of beneficial enzymes and probiotics, which are known to have benefits on the immune system, and they're good for your GI tract. Now, there is the potential, especially in large commercial dairy farms, like I talked about before, for this milk to be contaminated with bacteria, which is why the government requires pasteurization. But if you have a cow, or if you know someone who has a cow, and you feel like you're okay with drinking milk straight from that cow that may have a little bit of bacteria in it, it's better for you nutritionally. It really is. Just like honey, when milk's heated up to high temperatures, to kill all this bacteria, again, there are good bacteria in there. We're killing them, and we are kind of destroying a lot of the nutritional value of this milk. Same thing with honey. This is why you want raw, unpasteurized honey. You don't want your honey heated up, because when that happens, it destroys everything in it, and you're basically just eating sugar syrup with none of the good benefits. So I understand why they pasteurize milk, like I said, especially from these very large commercial farms. Yes, people would probably get sick if they were drinking that milk, because there would probably be bacteria and stuff in there, and like E. coli and whatever. However, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our ancestors, they drank milk straight from the cow. And humans have been doing this for over 6,000 years. But again, that's totally up to you. That's your decision. You can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you to go out and just drink unpasteurized milk. However, it is better for you. And if you decide to do that, more power to you, man. So overall, dairy's really, it's just been demonized, and it's not the bad guy here. It's really not. If you're against commercial dairies, I get it. I'm right there with you, man. Just buy your milk and cream and all of that from an ethical source. If you've got a local farmer who sells milk, go support that guy or that gal. Buy their milk. You know, they're out there working hard. That stuff's not easy work. They're out here providing for their families, and I feel better giving money to them anyways than these big corporations that don't care about their cattle. You know, that guy's cow probably has a name. Do you think big commercial farm names their cows? Probably not. I mean, there might be like one guy in there that's naming the cows. Like, he's like, yeah, okay, this morning your name's going to be Georgetta. Then we got Bessie over here. Bessie, that's such a cow name. Oh my God, if your name's Bessie, I don't mean like that you're a cow or that that's a cow name, but like people always tend to name their cows Bessie. I don't know. It just kind of fits because it's cute and cows are cute. So yeah, just, you know, buy what you want. If you want to support these little guys, go for it. And they, you know, if you don't have a farmer around you or a farmer's market or anything, they do sell stuff in stores that comes from ethically sourced farms. You know, you have these organic, non-GMO, free range cattle, this milk that you can buy. It does exist. And if you are lactose intolerant, you know, and you want to drink milk, again, they do have supplements for you or lactose-free versions of dairy products. Also, if you want to look into if you may or may not have leaky gut syndrome, you can go and talk to a provider about that and have that looked into, because that may be a very real thing. Or you could just have a problem, like me, with the protein itself. And then you can just get A2 type milk. Also, cheeses, yogurts, and fermented dairy, they do have a lower amount of lactose. And if you are getting these products from Europe, they're more than likely going to be made with the A2 proteins. So don't forget to check out my handmade all-natural personal care products that are available on my website. And because you guys are awesome, I totally want you to have 10% off of your order every time. So just go to victoriaraycoaching.com/shop and enter the discount code Becoming Natural. And that is one word. You just put that in at checkout. Everything on there is made using only the highest quality and natural ingredients. No toxic shit in there. I'm not going to do that to you guys. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you wonderful and beautiful people. So until next time, my friends, go out there and have yourself a great freaking day.